All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you some honest astrology. Happy solstice, everybody. It is the summer solstice, and we have a full moon in Capricorn as the sun is moving into Cancer. This full moon is going to happen tomorrow, Friday night, the 21st of July, 21st of June, 2024 at 9:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the sun is going to be at 1 degrees of Cancer. The moon is going to be at 1 degrees of Capricorn. And before I show you the full chart, what I want to show you here is the septiles that we have going on. All right, so here's our sun, our moon, Venus, Mars. Okay, now I'm going to turn all these other aspects back on in a second here, as you're going to see all of the squares and trines and oppositions and all of the other cluster, but I've eliminated all those other aspects to only show you the septiles. And the septiles are a seventh harmonic. Okay, this aspect in astrology is considered to be fate and destined energy. All right, now we have a lot of fate and destined energy going on, and we're coming out of a pretty heavy Gemini season. Okay, this Gemini season's been very challenging, as we've had the Sun, Mercury, and Venus here all squaring to Saturn and Neptune. It's been kind of in our face is what is real. What energy is real, what attitude is real, what emotions are real, how do we communicate with one another, how are we supposed to think for ourselves, what are we supposed to think for ourselves. We're getting past a lot of information from our predecessors. We're getting past information from individuals on social media. We're getting past information from everyone on the planet. That's got to tell us, this is my story, this is my angle, this is my anger, this is my trauma, this is whatever's going on with me. And we have hurt people, not just hurt people hurting people, but hurt people sharing their stories and really letting out their pains, which in a one way can be positive purge, and in another way we can sit in that sewing circle, and then we can say, oh, that happened to me, that happened to me. And then when we begin to or continue to put that record on repeat and loop, we can really go down in a spiral. Opposed to spiraling up and out, we can kind of go down and in. So this Gemini season has been quite challenging for many, many people that I've talked to in my personal life, as well as I've seen online. So the reason I'm showing you all of these septile placements is that the universe is working in your favor, and sometimes it just doesn't seem like it. Sometimes when people fall out of our lives, it doesn't feel as good as when we have that destined individual fall into our lives. But we don't always see it as destiny at that moment in time when somebody falls away from us. It just can sometimes be painful or hurtful or miscommunications or whatever else. Well, this here is the universe is like really saying, look, this is all happening for you for a purpose, for a reason. So we got Pluto creating this septile to Saturn. Okay, this is a transformation in community, and make it real. Okay, believe it. If we could go on and on and on about the transformations that need to happen within our society. I could spend hours and hours talking about that. We are at a civil war. We are at multiple civil wars between races, sexes, ideas of beliefs, and we're really not unified right now. And we need to be. We all have, I'm going to come back here for a second. Like, we do have a common goal. Humanity does have a common goal, no matter what race or sex you are, what country you live in, what continent you live on. There is a need for sustaining human life. There's a need for shelter. There's a need for food. There's a need for love, affection, healthy attention, healthy egos, all of these things. So there's we do have common grounds. We do have commonalities. And it's just focusing on those instead of focusing on the things that separate us. Now, that's what's really important here between Pluto and Saturn, is because Saturn, for one, is our individuality. In Pisces, this is about individually, we all create a collective. Okay, and the septile is to Pluto in transformational Aquarius about the community, is remembering that we are the community, that we all add to the community. We all add to the sounds of, we are each birds singing in the forest. We all have a song to sing and a song to share. And it's really important for us to come together to sing with the forest and communicate, again, those things that we love, want, and desire, that we're working toward the common goal. And speaking of working toward, this other end of the septile here is connected to Mars. So Saturn here, and Mars is Saturn's helper, right? Mars is like, yes, sir, let's go. What do you want done? I'm happy to do it. It's not, and there's no begrudging. There's no like, oh, the boss. No, this is like, yes, I want to work with you. I want to do the things that you have in mind because we have the same goals. So Mars is very eager in Taurus here. It's saying, let's move, let's create something. And as we have breakthrough Uranus still here since 2017, 2018. Okay, this is a breaking of how we make money, changing of our careers, our finances, how we're making money. This could also be career, emotional moon up in 10th house. But this is a huge change. So it's just like, maybe we can't see what's going on right now, but we have to take the necessary steps in faith of transforming our lives. And this could change our money. Okay. But we have to take the first steps. So I'm going to come back here again. So it's like, if I were to pay you $1,000 a day and say, here, I want you to do this job for me. It's like, there's a lot of incentive for you to, it's $1,000 a day. That's a good amount of money, right? Now, if you have a project of your own that you want to work on, that you believe in your project more than you believe in my project. So I'm willing to pay you $1,000 a day for my idea, my concept, the thing that I want to create and manifest in this world. I'm willing to pay you for that. And you don't think that my idea that I'm paying you the $1,000 a day is actually worth as much as your idea is. But when you have an off day, you might not be as motivated to take the steps to begin or start your project of whatever the project may be, because there's no immediate financial gain tied to it. This energy right now is saying, believe in yourself, believe in your individuality, believe that what you are going to create is something that is available and transformational for the community at large. Now, I just seen this video go on the internet. I believe it was the guy, one of the guys from Oasis, and he's coming out at his British accent. He's just like, look, the world didn't ask for Jimi Hendrix, and they got it, and they loved it. The world didn't ask for the Sex Pistols, but they got it, they loved it. The world didn't ask for Sgt. Pepper, but they got it, and they loved it. And it's like, right now, the story of why he's saying this is, right now we are at a time where people, brands, marketing are marketing to the consumer's needs, where these individuals, the Jimi Hendrix, the Sex Pistols, the Beatles, again, they weren't a product of what the consumers desired. That was something that the individuals wanted to do that made them happy to create that music and made them happy to put that out there. It was an emotion. It was something that they were happy to manifest into the world. And because they were happy and they were behind it as well, other people liked it. And then we spend our time, marketing people, scientists, whatever, trying to figure out, well, what do people like? And let's make more of that so they can. And it's just like, well, we're at a time in the arts and in general where we're just sticking with what makes sense and makes money, and we're not generally stepping out on the leading edge. And this energy is saying, take the leap of faith, start your thing. Who cares if you're not getting a financial immediate gratification for it, if you're not getting immediately paid for it right now, maybe down the road, right? Like, look, if I'm paying you for 6 months at $1,000 a day, you're going to make, X amount of money across those 6 months. And if you took that same time for yourself and you stuck to your project, the thing that you desire, the thing that you want to manifest and put out into the world that's going to transform society or transform the community or whatever it may be, could that bring you greater financial gains than working for me at the $1,000 a day? So this is something between ourselves that we have to take those like steps, take those actions in order to the leap of faith, in order to create the thing that you want to create. Now we have as well Neptune here to Uranus. Again, this is similar to the energy that we were just talking about a moment ago. This is about belief. This is breaking through. And of course, the finances, second house, Taurus deals with money, what you're doing, stability. This is saying be a bit radical and take that, again, that faith to be a bit radical. The North Node here, which we're going to talk about pretty heavily, is creating the septile down to Jupiter. Jupiter in the third house of communication, information, your thoughts. So again, this is how you're thinking, expanding. This is going to be here for a year now. So this is about your thoughts. There's a way to change your thoughts, that you have to, in a way of benefit yourself, give less to the outside world in a healthy way, in a very, very healthy way. It's extremely important that we're focusing on ourselves right now, again, in a healthy way. If the more that I am secure and I have a healthy love for myself, a healthy amount of confidence in myself, that may, when I go out into the world, and if I'm faced with challenges, which is going to happen inevitably, all the time I'm going to be faced with challenges. And the more that I'm taking the time for myself, the more that I'm sharpening my mind, whether that's positive affirmations, falling asleep to positive affirmations, or not focusing on the things that we do not want in life, but focusing on what we do want in life, right? So if we're watching the social media, if we're paying attention to things and we're seeing, oh, this thing that came up is like, oh yeah, I hate that. And this pulls on my heartstrings, and I'm liking it, or I'm commenting how something happened to me. And this was another time that this was a bad, here's my story that fits into that saying, this confirmation bias, right? So this is like, we have an opportunity to change that right now. We have an opportunity to change the record and the way that we're thinking. So we have Jupiter for a full year moving through communication and mental thought process Gemini. We have the North Node still moving for another 8 months-ish through Aries, reminding us that this is about us. There is no universe without minding and entering into it first. And it's very important for us to stay focused on our tasks, our goals, the things that we need to do to accomplish here on planet Earth. And everybody has an opinion. And it's like, everybody's opinion, it doesn't matter, right? Same thing with the guy from the my wonder wall. He's like the consumers don't know what they want. Consumers are idiots, but not my consumers. My consumers, my fans, they're great people. They know what they want. It's just like this. Just do it. You build it, they will come. All right, now let's come back here for a second. Now we've also got Mars creating this, Venus creating that septile over here to Pluto. Okay, transformation in community. And what is this? This is about our emotions, my friends. There's so much going on since I've talked to you last. I don't think I've been back here talking about astrology since the eclipse. Okay, so it's been a couple of months since I've been gabbing at y'all. And there's been a lot going on. And emotionally, social media can be terrible, my friends. Social media can be so terrible. Again, it's just like, what do we want and desire in life? What does our heart want? If our heart wants and desires camaraderie, if our heart wants and desires community, we can't focus on the lack of. We can't focus on the separation of people. We can't focus on the negative things people did to us in our past that hurt us in the present, that are stopping us from creating the community that we desire right now, right? So it's like sinking into our emotions here, being aware of our emotions, aware of what we want and desire, and then emotionally being mature enough to be the boss. Now I'm going to turn these other aspects on here. Oops. And then we're going to see all these. Bear with me here. Boop, boop, boop. All right. Let's turn them all on. There we go. Oops. And you. All right. Now let's look at this. Okay. So right here, we're going to have first Mercury, then Venus, then the Sun, square the nodes. This is so important, and it's opposing our moon. Okay. This is so extremely important. So important. Our emotions, which are going to be the roller coaster of our lives. Okay, something positive happens. It's really easy to have the dopamine hit, flooded of positivity in our body. if you get a wrong, bad dog, bad boy, bad girl, you know, something like that, you get reprimanded or something happens that's the opposite of positivity, and then our emotions can sink. Okay, we can be on a roller coaster constantly, and it's like if we stop to pay attention to every barking dog on the way to our destination, we're never going to get there. You know, we're going to say, what's wrong, barking dog? Why don't you like me? Why can't we be friends? Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. That dog's got its own journey. You have your journey. And it's like we do want... There is a desire in some way for a lot of people that want to be liked. They want to be appreciated. They want to be accepted. They want to be included in things. But that's simply just not possible for all of us at all of the times. So allowing ourselves to let go of the emotional need to be loved by everyone, the emotional, it's like practicing detachment in a certain way with Mercury, Venus, and the Sun all beginning to square the nodes. This is going to be extremely important. And again, everything that I was saying a moment ago with this Saturn, with the septiles, it all ties in. It's just like, what do your emotions truly want? What in your brain is stopping you from receiving those things? You know, it's like if I want a positive relationship, but I only focus on the negative aspects of what individuals have done to me in the past, or what I see happen to other people on social media, I will never come into an alignment. I'll never come into an alignment with that which I desire, right? I have to be willing to let go of these concepts, let go of those things from other people, other people's experiences, other people's perspectives. And I have to stay steadfast and desire my emotions and says, look, this is the top of the zodiac. I'm willing to go to the top. Okay. Now, there's something to be said about that. If your emotions, okay, these are the height of our emotions, the height of the summer solstice here. And according to the zodiac, this is our top of the zodiac, the height of career and reputation, things like that. If we desire moving up the mountain, we desire the best, okay? We're not going after the low-hanging fruit. That's in career, that's in love, that's in all relationships. How we do one thing is how we do everything, okay? So we're not gearing ourselves up for the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit is we get it. This energy is suggesting that we're all trying to make it up this mountain or make it up this thing. So we have to be willing to do what it takes. Again, take that leap of faith, those steps in belief in climbing the tree to go get that ripe sun-kissed apple at the very top of the tree. Okay, so it's just like, are you willing to do what it takes emotionally to get that of what you desire? And whatever it is, again, if you're a man, you're a woman, whatever it is, if it's a job you desire, if it's a change in perspective that you desire, if it's a change in your current relationship with your partner, if it's a change in your relationship with your kids, there's a matter of taking those steps up. Okay, I have to step up. Again, doesn't matter what we are. We have to be accountable. We have to be responsible. We have to be the ones that are taking the initiative. Why are we saying this? Because the emotions are being highlighted right now. The moon is fully illuminated in the place of career and reputation. Okay, this is how we're getting things done in the world. And then we have the North Node here in Aries saying this is about you. It doesn't matter about what anybody else did. It doesn't matter how your boss treated you. It doesn't matter if you think the other person had an unfair advantage. It doesn't matter. What do you want? Because focusing on the unfair advantage isn't going to do you any good, right? Focusing on the quote-unquote unfair advantage is going to make it seem like you're a victim. You're villainizing the other person. Maybe for whatever reason, maybe you would wish that you were the person that had that quote unquote unfair advantage that gave you an edge. And maybe you are in some other way. So it's finding that edge and taking that leap of faith in yourself and finding that thing fully illuminated here. And here's the other aspect about full moons. You know, we have these little slivers. These are our emotions. And Cancer energy is like when you see a crab walking on the beach, it's going to hide. That crab is going to hide. It's going to scurry away. It's going to find a little can and go inside the can. It's going to find a little hole and go inside the hole. Same with our moon. Our emotional moon hides. And then it creates these big waves, and then it goes into hiding. And then it comes out in its full glory. Look at all of this. Look at the whole moon reflecting all of this energy, all of this light, all of this information. So our sun right now, in the place of emotions, in the place of the moon's natural home, is highlighting all of our emotions. All right. Then in Capricorn, the moon being fully illuminated is saying, take responsibility, take accountability for my own actions, for my own emotions that have led me to this place, this time right now. And look at my emotions. Look at the emotions. Look at where we're at. There's no hiding going on right now in the next, tomorrow when this happens or whenever you see this full moon happen at 9:07 p.m. on the 21st of June. Fully illuminated. So it's like, okay, if we're talking relationships, if we're talking about a job, if we're talking career, if I'm paying you the $1,000 a day, but you secretly are reserving your energy for the project that you want, you're holding back. You're withholding, and I'm paying you. I'm not withholding my rate. That was rate and wage came out as rage. All right, or wait. All right, so I'm not withholding my rate, my wage from you, my rage and weight from you. I'm not withholding from you, but because if you think, oh, I want to reserve my stuff so that when I go home, I can type up my thing or work on my project. Okay, then we're reserving something. So it's like, well, where is the full illumination? Where do we hide something back? Now, I know people, men and women both alike, they'll say, well, I don't want to show my boyfriend, my girlfriend, what I would be like as a married person. I'm showing them what I'm like as a dating person, and I'm only going to show them what I'm like, what I would be like if I was married once they give me the ring or once we take those next steps. So it's like, so you're going to change who you are once the commitment becomes official or more official in a certain way. This is like an interesting thing. This is an interesting psychology and like a bit of a cat and mouse game that we play. It's just like, well, how do we know what we're marrying? How do we know what we're getting into? If you're not showing me your full true self, if you're not showing me your full emotions right now, if you're hiding back, are you an affectionate person? Are you a person that likes PDA? Are you a person that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like there's so many little things. So it's just like if we're constantly in a place of withholding, I don't want to open up too much to this person because I'm afraid I might like them or they might not like me. So then what happens is the relationship continues and goes on longer and longer and longer. We reserve, and then finally we fully illuminate and we show somebody our full emotions. And if we had done it earlier, it's like pulling the Band-Aid off a lot quicker than it's just like, well, here's what it is. Here's me. Are you interested? Here's the position. Are you interested in the position? Here's my work ethic. This is what I'm bringing to the table. Here's my energy. Here's my emotions. Here's my affection. Here's my gratitude. Here's how I interact in the social settings. And if I'm withholding because of insecurities, am I withholding because of uncertainties? Am I withholding because I don't know how you feel about something? Well, it's like, well, we have Mercury and Venus together right now, and they're both in the place of hiding emotions. But the moon is in Capricorn saying, take responsibility. The boss is going to have to walk up, to the individual and greet them and do the interview. The reporter is going to have to cold call that individual and walk up to them and hey, I'd like to do this story about you. And it doesn't matter if they're super famous, more famous than the reporter is right now. There's a due diligence. This is my emotional need. I desire to interview that individual more than I don't care if I'm rejected. So then right now it's just like this energy is just like you might get rejected a lot right now. And this is like Jupiter's here with you to help change our minds. And it's just like, okay, rejection is going to happen all the time. Rejection is going to happen all the time. And this is like, what ways are we emotionally learning and expanding our thought process to be able to handle this rejection? Or, am I going to get discouraged? Oh, I tried this and it didn't work, so I'm going to fail. And it's like, no, your emotions are still saying that you really desire and want to do this. And you're not going to be satisfied until you do it. So powerful days. Let me do this too, because I want to show you what day Here we go. Look at this. The square is happening between the nodes. This is so powerful, my friends. This is such a powerful time to put our emotions in check. You know, it's like, look, when you have a concept, you're like, I, the individual, I want to quit smoking. Tobacco can be a brutally hard, habit to stop. Any habit, any addiction can be very hard. We'll just go with smoking right now. So you say, I want to stop smoking. I'm making up my mind. Aaron's deciding. This is Aaron. This is the body of Aaron. These are Aaron's hands, Aaron's mouth, lips. You know what I mean? These are Aaron's actions to put the cigarette to light the thing and put it up to my mouth. I don't smoke, but I'm just saying. So it's like, if I desire to quit, but then my body, my second brain here wants a cigarette. If my second brain, my energy body, my emotions, if I get frazzled, whatever, and something's going on, my emotions are in turbulence. Okay. And it's like, am I going to go back to old patterns? Am I going to go back to these old things I'm like, no, I'm trying to give this up right now. Do I go back to these old habits, these old patterns? And the universe is working with us right now, saying, let go of this stuff. Follow the image of yourself that you see. Follow this image in your mind, and also be present to the real world. So that way we're not we don't want to be thinking so much about the future that we're passing up the present opportunities that lead us to the future. Right? We don't want to be just with the horse blinders on, not paying attention to the things around us, because we want to be very present during this time right now. We want to be very present with our emotions. We don't want to escape. We don't want to evade. And that's really what a lot of this energy can be doing, especially with these trines that are going to start happening a little bit later in this month when Mercury, Venus, and the Sun all start to create the trine to Saturn and the trine to Neptune. There can be a huge amount of I want to be done with this. I want to run away. Okay, so where we go. Even here, we're talking about the 25th as Mercury starts to square now, trine now, July 2nd, as Venus is trine to Saturn, trine to Neptune over here. And then finally the Sun. Okay, so there's a lot of energy coming up here all the way until kind of the end of July here. The last bit of July here, we got a lot of this trine water. Okay, so the water trines, water can be an easy flow of energy. And when it's an easy flow of energy of emotions and escapism, it's saying, I don't want to deal with life right now. I don't want to deal with these thoughts. I don't want to deal with these changing times. The only thing constant in our world is change. And right now it's like our careers can be changing. AI is taking over everything. And if we're still stuck in this the man is creating the robots and the robots are going to take our job. It's like, we have to be humans right now. This is a time saying, do we need to garden? Should I be gardening with, you got Mars and Taurus. For the next couple of weeks anyway, for almost another month, we got Mars and Taurus. So it's like, should we be taking actions to be creating our own food? If we start creating our own food, that's certainly going to help financially, right? So there's all these little steps and little things that we can do. But if we're evading, if we're escaping and just pulling the blanket over our heads, if we're just getting high and drunk all the time and not trying to adapt with the changing flow that's coming, it can hurt us. It can really hurt us. And especially when this Leo season comes in here, the Leo season is going to be very powerful, my friends, because all of those harsh water trines are going to turn into positive fire trines. Okay. Positive fire of acceptance and yes, I am me. And yes, thank you parents, whether we get along or not, for finding love and having me as a human on this planet. So there's a lot of positive energy coming, but it's just right now it's sticking through it. And whatever, it's keeping your head above the water, remembering that you are the individual behind the driver's seat of your reality, and how you communicate, how you deal with your relationships, that's up to you. But the universe is working with you right now during this time. most certainly look at all these septiles that's going on here. The universe is working with us during this time, even if it feels like so much is changing in a negative way. That perception of negative and positive. I locked my keys in the car. Negative. I just avoided a car crash and I would have died or something. Positive. So, positive things are happening all around us. My friends, it's a good one. I love you. I wish you enough. Happy full mooning. We'll see you next time.